Stay frosty and head over to easymutt.com for the cheapest mutt coins on the market. And when I say cheapest, I mean it. We're talking 1 million coins for around $40. Use code DIRECTOR for 5% off. Action! Kyoto brothers, what's up? Good afternoon. What are we on, a Thursday evening live stream? What's going on, everybody? Who we got here in the chat today? Juan David Hernandez Garcia. ¿Cómo está? Zeke Rodriguez. Mariela Antonio Raptor. What's going on, everybody? Blissfall. Diego. Gab, Eric, how's everybody doing today? Live chat. Wow, we got a lot of people in here for just like a spur of the moment live video. How's everybody doing? Yeah, we got a lot of people up in here today. Dudes, I just kind of want to talk some coaching. Time to talk some coaching with you guys. I feel like the Chargers community is kind of up in arms right now. You know, it's time to fire Anthony Lynn. I don't disagree with it. I do not disagree with it. Just kind of wanted to get in here, gab with you guys. Talk a little bit about Chargers football. Talk a little bit about Chargers coaches more specifically. And get some of your guys' questions and comments in the live stream. Kind of show you guys, or get your guys' opinion and maybe some topics we should be covering in future videos. So, all right, taking a look here at the chat, man. We got Joey says, did you see Herbert be second in the league for passing if he played week 1? Yes, he would be. I think right underneath Patrick Mahomes is where he would be right now. Isn't that crazy? Our rookie quarterback would be second in the league above Russell Wilson, above what? Whoever else is. Not Patrick Mahomes, but Tom Brady and Drew Brees and everybody else. Nuts. I can't believe some people think Adam Gase would be good for the Bolts. Do we have to start like a Bolts boot camp out here, man? Give you guys I think that video I put out a couple weeks ago is pretty good as far as giving you a rundown of all the available coaches and stuff like that. If Adam Gase was not on that list for a reason, we're just going to go with that, okay? We're just going to say that. Bring back Turner. Were you here back I don't know, was it like a decade ago? Ooh, did not like that, man. Norv was a creative human being. He had a good heart, but he didn't know how to run that team very well. Are we winning Sunday versus New England Patriots? Maybe. I think anything's possible. The New England Patriots, fun fact, now that you guys got my brain churning with Chargers and football stuff, the Patriots had one of the better defenses in the first half of the year. And as I've been reading, getting ready for tomorrow's video, it turns out they're in the bottom 5 of defenses now. Isn't that crazy? We're talking another Herbert feasting kind of defense for week was going to be 13. Nuts. How crazy would that be? I'll do some more research on that before we do tomorrow's video, the full breakdown video. But yeah, as far as the word around the block is that the Patriots aren't as lethal as we all thought they would be defensively this year. Kind of nuts, but they really don't have anybody. They really only have Belichick. I think Belichick and Cam Newton. Is that it? That's really maybe Diggs. Gilmore. Gilmore's pretty good too. Anthony Lynn is meddling with that offense. Shane was putting up points with that offense until he got involved. Oh, who said that? Who said that? Showtime Leo? Showtime Leo. You're absolutely correct. I noticed that too. Some people, I was reading up on that as well. That the moment that Anthony Lynn starts getting his fingers and his hands all over the offense and stuff like that, things start to fall apart a little bit. And I feel like the same thing applies to the defense. You know what I mean? That's why people are so adamant about getting Anthony Lynn out, because he's kind of a micromanager. You really want to pick the best qualified people to run your offense and defense. You definitely keep an eye on them. You manage them. You're the coach. You're the leader of the team. But don't meddle, especially if it ain't broke. Don't try and fix it. It's going to cause more problems. Randy Norwig from Canada says, hey, director, what's up, man? Director, head coach 2021. We'll have to wait and see. No way. Ben, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah. Corlax says, me for head coach. Man, goodness, dudes. You guys know who I am? You guys want this team to turn into a Madden franchise? Because that's what I'll do. It's exactly what I'll do. Matter of fact, we'll probably do a live franchise at some point, and you guys can see the kind of damage I can do in one season. No, just kidding. I think even a Madden franchise season decision-making would be better than what we've seen in the last 7 weeks. All right, guys, I'm going to be taking some more questions from the comment section. Make sure you tag me. If you got like a good question, like look at me in the eyes, look me in the face. If it's a good question, if it's not like, you know what I had for breakfast this morning, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? If it's a good question, a good football related question, tag me in the comments and let me know your thoughts, because I am here to answer those questions today, specifically about coaches. If we can keep it on that topic, that would make me even happier. Director, what grade would you give Lynn this season? F minus. It goes lower? F. Huge F, man. Like one of the worst coaches. Like you guys are joking about Adam Gase. We got an Adam Gase on our team. We don't need another one. Any chance of Urban Meyer? I mean, how long have fans been wanting Urban Meyer to come to the NFL? Long time. Urban Meyer's been one of those guys every team's been wanting to get for a long time. So I mean, anything's possible. That'd be awesome, but I don't know. Maybe the Chargers with Justin Herbert makes it happen. Easton Junkin says, do you think Chargers should try and hire an offensive style head coach, or maybe even O-line coach? Let me come back to that in a minute. I think you did touch on something important there. Raptor says, you think the Chargers should draft Jamar Chase, extend Herbert's weapons? Yeah, I think a wide receiver needs to be added via free agency or the draft. Either way, I think that's a good idea. A lot of people are like, yo, what about Guyton? What about Johnson? What about KJ and Reed? Those guys are good depth. I'm not going to lie. But you want the best that you can get. And the guy, I keep reading comments about, why do you want, what's his name? John Ross so bad. Well, because John Ross is the fastest football player to ever run the 40. Yeah? Jalen Guyton ran a 4.35. Freaking Ross ran like what, a 4.21, 4.22, something like that? Something ridiculous. You want to give that cannon someone to catch touchdowns 55 yards down the field? We need our own Tyreek Hill. Bottom line, we need somebody fast. He doesn't have to be like the biggest game-changing wide receiver in the league. He needs just to be fast. That's what we need for Justin Herbert. All right, making my way down this. What are your thoughts for realistic, not Bill Belichick, head coach replacement? And this is coming in from Alex. I think Bill Belichick is definitely realistic. If you think otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's absolutely realistic. But outside of that, I like Eric Bieniemy. Robert Saleh is really growing on me lately. That's why he's on the thumbnail today. Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator out of San Francisco. Dude's got some energy. Dude's got some good vibes. Like that man knows what he's doing. I think he's the right kind of personality to lead a football team. Like the fire, the passion that we really haven't seen in so many years, right? We had Norv Turner, who's kind of like, he looked like an angry gremlin on the sidelines. We had Coach Mike McCoy. That guy was like talking to a brick wall. Coach Lynn, I really liked him because he did seem to have that presence. I mean, as a person, he's a fantastic human being, but he's not the right coach for the Chargers right now. So those are a couple. We'll go into more detail here in a second with some other guys. Crap, I just lost all of those questions. Sorry, guys. Hang on. How much would Belichick cost us? I mean, how much you willing to pay for a Super Bowl is my question. That's another thing I want to talk about real quick. Some people are like, bruh, you know, Bill Belichick comes with this and that, and, you know, he's going to try and ruin the draft, and he does, you know, all the... It's like buying... It's like someone gives you a Ferrari, right? And you're complaining that it doesn't go off-road. Bro, it's a Ferrari. It's meant to do something cool, something fast, something impressive. You know, it's not meant to go off-road. Same thing with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is not an off-road vehicle. He is a Ferrari. He wins Super Bowls. That is what he does. So anything surrounding that, at least for right now, I will take it. I'm not interested in winning games with Justin Herbert and all of his talent for the next 4 years in a really cheap contract. I want to win Super Bowls. That's my goal. That's my goal. Guys, I got to keep going on here on the chat. There's so many questions coming in at the same time. I'll try and grab as many as I can, okay? Ronit says, do you think Pep Hamilton will be a good head coach? We know he's developed Herbert very well. I would like to see how he does as interim head coach for the remainder of the year. That's why I think a lot of people want Anthony Lynn gone. You know, it's like time. Give someone else a shot so we can at least see what we have in the roster. Shane Steichen, not bad, right? Not bad. He puts up points when he's not being meddled with. We found him last offseason because we fired Ken Weisenhunt, right? I think we got to see what we got in other places too with like Pep Hamilton. I think he's a great choice for interim head coach. Cool. Marioletta says, do you think Henry Ruggs is overrated? I think he does his job. I think he'll develop. He's a good player. I know he's on the Raiders, but, you know, he's a good player. Pack says, I honestly like Anthony Lynn, but he's just having a strange year. He's been good in the past, 12-4. Gonna be sad if he goes, but I think he has to. I mean, again, there's so many things I like about Anthony Lynn. Really, like, he's a good leader. It's hard to find good leaders. But the NFL, an NFL franchise, an NFL team, is such a finely tuned machine. And if you got the wrong operator behind that machine, not making the small adjustments that are required for that machine to operate, you need to get somebody in there that knows what they're doing with that machine. Guys, there's so many moving parts to an NFL team. If you got the wrong guy in there, it's not going to succeed. And as much as I like Anthony Lynn, he's not making those small things happen to make the team successful. And that's why he needs to go. I hate to say it. What do you think of the Ravens defensive coordinator, head coach candidate for the Chargers? Oh, crap, what's his name? He wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm worried about what I'm seeing with the Ravens right now. The Ravens looked like Super Bowl contenders last year. This year they look like playoff hopefuls. You know what I mean? So I like what they did, but I think they're overthinking stuff lately. That's why they're not as dominant as they were last year. All right, I got to keep scrolling down, guys. Keep the questions coming, man. I mean, if you got to put it in there a couple of times, catch me in a break between questions. I'll try and address as many as I can. Kyle Sanchez says, what do you think the realistic chances of getting Belichick? Also, how do you feel about Joe Brady? What would be his pros and cons? So realistically, I think the Chargers are a very, very, very intriguing team for any head coach. You're talking Bill Belichick. You're talking any new guy coming off the belt. You know what I mean? Like everybody's gonna be wanting to head coach the Chargers. And that's because of Justin Herbert. That's because we have so many stars already locked into very, lengthy contracts. Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, Austin Eckler. And then you can't forget that Justin Herbert, a rookie, is still on contract with us for 4 or 5 years with a 5th-year option. You know what I mean? So, what more do you want? How many other teams in the NFL can you honestly say are built as well as the Chargers that lack leadership? That you could literally step into that role and be like, bro, we can go to the Super Bowl. How many teams are like that? 3, maybe. But I think the Chargers, even on that list, is number 1. And I think after seeing what Bill Belichick was talking about against the Chargers, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that. I've been getting lots of people tagging me on Twitter saying Bill Belichick loves Justin Herbert. He loves Joey Bosa. He's giving everybody high praise. Sure, he talks about like that about a lot of other teams, but I also think that he said different stuff this time around when it comes to Justin Herbert, when it comes to the pieces that are on our team long term. You got to also take a look at, identify which players he specifically called out. These are the players that are going to be on our roster for a while. So I think the chances of Bill Belichick coming to the Chargers, a lot higher than people would think. A lot higher than people would think. That's why I want people to not be so pessimistic about Bill coming to the Chargers. Like, oh, it'll never happen and this and that. Well, we're seeing a break in between what Chargers fans are used to seeing over the last 15, 20 years. This new quarterback, this new system that we're entering, we're spending more in free agency. It's because we don't have, I hate to say it, we don't have Phillip Rivers anymore. We have more money to spend. We have young talent. So when we say it'll never happen, you do have the grounds to say that. You do have the grounds to say, I've been a Chargers fan for 15 years. We've never done that. We don't have Phillip Rivers anymore. It's a different Chargers. So we have to open up our minds and imaginations to some radical changes coming, some big ideas. We got to think bigger. Stop thinking so small. Bill Belichick, the man carries with him Super Bowl caliber wisdom. It's something I don't want to ever pass up on. If we have the opportunity to get Bill Belichick, great. When we had the opportunity to get Tom Brady, I was like, nah. You know what I mean? He's got such a low shelf life. Maybe Bill Belichick does too. But what he brings in terms of knowledge and leadership and culture, and he could even coach Chargers for 2 years and leave, and probably leave behind him a culture that could win for a long time. I want that. I want that badly. All right, sorry guys. I like going on tangents a little bit if you didn't notice. I like the Chargers. Let's pick up another question here. Should we drop Mike Pouncey? Is he reliable? I think the consensus, at least for most fans' opinions right now, is that Pouncey's probably not going to come back to the Chargers next year. Just the injury problem. We want probably more healthy people right now. If you're a GM next few years, draft for the Chargers, you get any pick you want. Who you going to draft? I would honestly try and trade up for Penei Sewell. Still, I know it's going to be really tough to trade up this year, but you need that kind of... He's like the best offensive lineman prospect we've seen in the last decade. Do you think the Spanos family would pay for Bill Belichick if he comes to the Chargers? Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it in business terms. You know what I mean? You bring in a guy like Bill Belichick, you got lucky. You got really lucky drafting a star last year, and he's going to bring with him a lot of attention to Los Angeles, a brand new market for an NFL team. You bring in Bill Belichick, that investment's gonna return week 1. You're gonna have the whole freaking stadium filled up. The media over the off season's not gonna shut up about the Chargers. It's gonna build so much hype. Every seat in the Chargers stadium and SoFi Stadium is gonna be filled. It's gonna be a return on investment instantly. So yeah, I definitely think if I'm the Spanoses, I don't see a huge dollar sign. I see huge dollar signs on Bill Belichick for the right reasons, not because he's gonna cost a lot, but because he's gonna bring in a lot more. Know what I mean? Should the Chargers fire Anthony Lynn in season or Black Monday? They should fire him they should have fired him last week. I hate doing that. I hate saying that. I hate bagging on people. You should have fired him last week. Like, what's he still doing here? I want to see what else we have on the roster. He's making terrible decisions. Let's move on. If you're the Chargers GM the next few years, okay, we already said that one. What kind of coach would be good for this team? OC, DC, or special teams? I want a strong leader that's intelligent. You know, I mean, if they come from a background of defensive coordinator, I think that's kind of my preference. Offensive coordinator, that's still good, but they need to be intelligent with how they manage their offensive defense coordinators, regardless of their background. Like I said, Robert Saleh is really, really growing on me lately. Woo, he's growing on me. It's because not only is he a brilliant defensive-minded coach, but he's a brilliant leader. He's got energy, passion. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. What will Herbert's Madden rating be next year, says Cameron Hatch. Oh, at least in the 84, right? 83? Madden's, don't be offended. Madden, I've been in the Madden game for a long time. That's very realistic, and it's still very good for a second-year player. Who would be, you rather come the off-season, who would you think costs more, Hunter Henry or Melvin Ingram? Ingram would, because he's a different position. I think Hunter Henry's going to be somewhere around the range of $9 million a year. I think, honestly, we could get him for $7 million, and he's probably going to want to stay with the Chargers. He's kind of injury-prone. It's going to bring his market price down. I think he's going to stay with the Chargers. Director, was Lynn only relevant because Rivers ran the offense? I would say that's a good point. Yeah, I would say Rivers was really good at taking over the offense. He was very opinionated. He's not going to let crap fly. You know what I mean? And I also think that Lynn got lucky in 2018 because the whole Chargers unit was pretty healthy for the most part. You go back and look at the history of the Chargers. 2018 was special because we had most of our playmakers. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I wish it was like that every year, but this is football. Besides the Chiefs, who will be our biggest foe in the AFC West next season? The Raiders. Yeah, for sure. The Raiders. For sure, for sure. Super chat coming in. Alvaro Osorio says, why a bear sticker in the back? And what about Harbaugh? Bear sticker is my wife's. Her family is from Alabama. That's why you see the Auburn sticker there too. Bear sticker, that's her team. So they rep the fridge in the background. Appreciate it. As far as Jim Harbaugh, I could see it. Some people are really against it. He's not doing great with Michigan right now, but it's different worlds, right? His track record in the NFL was pretty good. You hand him a team like the Chargers, I'll give it a shot. I like it. There's other guys I probably like more, but I wouldn't hate it. Do you see us trading Keenan Allen? No. Memphis. Big no. Absolutely not. What do you think about Joe Brady? Brady's good, man. I think some people have that syndrome because of Sean McVay. Like, we got this younger guy that really gets the minds of these players and has that energy, you know what I mean? And I also think that it's a little bit sketchy wanting to hand him the keys to a franchise right now, just because, I mean, how much did he really have to do with LSU's, huge run? He's doing really good in Carolina. I don't know. I mean, he's, again, kind of like Jim Harbaugh. Like, I'd give it a shot. I still like other guys better. Alex Silva says Bill Belichick would come as head coach / GM in my mind if TT gets fired. Now that's one of my contingencies with getting Bill Belichick. You got to keep Tom Telesco. The guy's been drafting pretty good. Some of you guys say, he gets lucky. Well, whatever. It's continue getting lucky, man. Continue making, decent picks. Some years not so good, but most of his resume, I'd say, is pretty great. It's pretty good. He doesn't second guess himself. I think that's the biggest thing people don't realize with Tom Telesco. The draft is full of people second guessing themselves. That's why a lot of people passed up on Justin Herbert, for instance, or even, other players that we've drafted in the past. He doesn't overthink it. He says, there's the man with all the talent, with the best, draft value. We're taking him. He's not an overthinker. I like that. I like that a lot. But to your point, yeah, we got to keep Tom Telesco because if Bill Belichick comes in here and starts GMing, he's not a very good draft mind. He's pretty bad. His record's pretty atrocious when it comes to drafting for the Patriots these last few decades. Joshua Moreno says, what are the chances Lynn doesn't get fired? I think it's pretty high. I'm not terribly high, but just high enough. It makes me uncomfortable. I would say it's more than likely he's going to get fired, but we don't know yet. Rat says, keep Telesco. Yes, sir. Jason Rosenberg with the $1 holla. What's up, bro? Giota. Can you be our coach director? Please, at least against the Patriots. You guys will see me on Madden. I'll be your head coach of Madden any day, bro. Any day. Roblox says, Director, what's your reaction to Chargers leaving San Diego? You guys remember a program called Save Our Bolts by any chance? San Diegans? I did some work with them doing videos and stuff like that, trying to keep them in San Diego. I was pretty sad. I was pretty bummed out about it. But, we're here now. It's all good. It's all good. Director, who do you think is most important person we resign this offseason? That's actually a video I'm going to be doing here really soon. But I think, me personally, you got to re-sign Hunter Henry. He's on the top for me. He's close to the top for me. Jason Rosenberg says, Director, what did you think of Brian Schottenheimer as head coach? I love it. When you're talking about Joe Brady is a great offensive mind. He did some good things with LSU. But he's been in the NFL so short. It's been, a year since he got there as their offense coordinator in Carolina. As far as Brian Schottenheimer, however, he's been bouncing around. He's done great things with the Seattle Seahawks these last several seasons. Oh, man, is he good at running an offense. He's not scared, man. Brian Schottenheimer is a good football mind offensively. I don't know how he is as a leader. I haven't really seen him on the sidelines, stuff like that. I don't really pay attention to the sidelines and watching football, right? But I like it, man. I think it's such a cool narrative, too. We circle the Chargers, try and make retributions with the Schottenheimers, give another one a chance and see how it goes. How cool would that be? The Wise Guys podcast says, Director, I will email you an app. Why don't you apply for head coaching job? Let's see how my first sim at Madden goes, right? We got the brand new Madden out today. Super exciting. Brand new Madden for the Xbox Series X. We'll do like a franchise or something like that. You guys can see what my mind is working at. I think it's a lot easier too when you step back and you really think about it. You'd look at it not with all of the complications, because you guys got to remember these GMs and coaches and stuff, they're dealing with way more stuff than we even understand. There's so much going on in the background. Me as a fan, I can just sit back and look at the surface with pretty clear perspective and say, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. If you do that, you're probably going to get fired, yada, yada. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the $5 holla. Daniel says, would you be letting Melvin go and drafting Rousseau or Kwity Paye? That's a big question. I mean, when it comes to the draft, depending on what our draft position is, I just kind of want to take the best talent because we do have a lot of positions to fill. And Kwity Paye and Rousseau, those guys are really, really good. They're plug and play, right? But we also have some other options as far as defensive end right now. We got Uchenna Nwosu, who looks pretty good in spurts. They've moved Jerry Tillery to defensive end these last couple of days last couple of weeks since Melvin Ingram got hurt. He's looked pretty good, And then you got to also consider people you can get in free agency. I think last season, at least, there was kind of a copious amount of pass rushers that a lot of them were ended up signed for pretty cheap. So we got options. So what I would like to see is either, the development, I think number one, the development of Uchenna Nwosu and or Jerry Tillery would be my preference if they can fill that slot, which they look both pretty decent. Not Melvin Ingram good, but good. That's my number one preference, is that they take over and they're good. My number two would definitely be to pick up someone in free agency, because the top talent of this next year's draft is so voluptuous that you want to pick somebody, you know, that you couldn't already get in free agency, you know, on the cheap. You want to get somebody that would be expensive. Offensive lineman, for instance. If Penei Sewell has been in the league for 4 years and he was on the free agent market, you bet your butt he'd be the most expensive offensive lineman in the league. It's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Same thing with other skill positions, wide receivers, cornerbacks, stuff like that. I think, you know, if there's not a huge amount of them in the free agency this upcoming year, maybe go ahead and go after a pass rusher. But it's not the worst idea, you know what I mean? But that's just my personal thoughts on that. Cameron Hatch says, would you trade Herbert for Mahomes if you could? I think when you really look at it, I mean, obviously Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football right now, right? But when you look at it dollar to dollar, Justin Herbert's the most valuable player in football today. And I know you guys are saying, well, Patrick Mahomes is so good. Yes, he is, but he also costs $500 million. The Chiefs are going to hit a wall here really soon, guys. In the next couple of years, they've been signing so many free agents, trying to, you know, start a little dynasty or whatever. The same thing that's going to that happened to the Los Angeles Rams is going to happen to the Chiefs here in the next couple of seasons. They're just going to run out of money. So that's why Justin Herbert's the most valuable player in the league right now. It's because the guy's on a rookie contract. You can be so flexible with your roster for the next 4 or 5 years. It's ridiculous. It's great. We got the moolah and the money and the talent. So to answer your question, no, I would not trade for Patrick Mahomes at this time. You can just stack that roster around Justin Herbert and feel good about it without having to hit that wall later too, which is great. If Penei Sewell gets picked and we don't trade up, what's your second choice? I want a corner. I mean, but I have to do more research. I haven't gotten into draft mode yet. You know what I mean? I love Patrick Surtain. I love, I like Kwity Paye a lot too. There's some guy. I don't know. I have to do some more research. You guys, you can come back to me. I promise you guys. I'm going to have so many draft videos. I'm going to start annoying you guys with the uploads. Like, director, man, it's the 4th draft video today. Get off my butt. All right, some more questions here. Do you think, this is by Anthony Bennett, do you think Anthony Lynn was wrong to tell his players a playoff push is unlikely from a leadership standpoint? Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't want to seem like I'm coming off as like a big shot, big-headed or whatever like that, but you see behind me like the film rewards and stuff like that, those are legit, okay? Like before I started doing YouTube and things like that, I was a real-life film director. Nothing like, you know, oh, what did I see in the theaters? Like, no, I did commercials, I did short films, I did a lot of film festivals and stuff like that. And when you're placed in a leadership role, you got a lot of people looking at you, you know, what am I supposed to do? What's my motivation? You know what I mean? And I don't think ever in a million years I would tell my crew, my actors, my whatever, my PAs, that this movie's probably going to bomb. Even if it's super evident. We've had guys in the past on my sets that, like, terrible actors bringing down the whole film. And I knew in my heart, like, oh, it's going to really drag the film down. I still would never in a million years tell my crew this movie's going to suck. Ever. I've done some bad stuff. You know, knowing that it wasn't going to be great. Sometimes you do what you got to do. But I would never say it aloud. And it's because as a leader, your job is not to do that. Your job is to motivate and inspire despite all the crap falling apart around you. I feel like as far as a head coach is concerned, it's even more vital because football really, like, it's almost fueled by emotion. Is that kind of crazy to say? It really is. Football is almost fueled by emotion, that passion, that energy. And I think when you say something like that, it brings down the culture of your team. It wears people down emotionally and you know what I'm saying. It's a no-no. You don't do that. You're trying to build a culture. You don't want to be a losing culture. What coach wants to do that? And what's even crazier is that statistically, I mean, mathematically, the Chargers are definitely not out of the playoff hunt right now. We're not. There could be, what, like an 18th week and 2 extra playoff teams and stuff like. There's no way the Chargers are out of it yet. I think we could even go 7-9 and still have a shot at the playoffs. Crazy? Not supposed to say that. Sorry, I was a little triggered there. I've been placed in the leadership role since I was a kid, okay? I started in the film industry when I was very, very young. Had my first set of over 100 people that I was in charge of at the age of 14. Even then, I would tell you, never, ever, ever tell you, your crew, the people that you're leading, that what they're doing is gonna suck. Don't do that. It's bad leadership. New tangent. Raimundo says, likelihood of Bill as head coach, McDaniels as offensive, and Patricia as defensive coordinator. I mean, let's get the band back together, boys. Let's get the band back together. How crazy would that be? If all these guys are like, something special is happening in Los Angeles. Let's all lower our pride and go over there and win some Super Bowls. I would say likeliness of that happening is not terribly high, but how cool would it be, right? It's great to think about. Linson says trade for Nick Bosa. Maybe. If we had already paid Justin Herbert, if he was in his 6th year and we already paid him however many hundreds of millions of dollars, easy no. But we might have a window of opportunity because you have to pay the man, right? And he would be on his rookie contract. There's just no way it happens, I don't think. I mean, you guys got me thinking, like, ooh, I would love to see the Bosa brothers on the same team. How cool would that be? But I don't know if that's possible. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Let's see. Ramphis says, what do you think about Casey Hayward this season? Ugh. He might be hitting just a bad year. But what's scary is that he is in that age where you start to digress a little bit, right? Regress, whatever. I think the likeliness of his best days being behind him are pretty high, which is why I'm pretty high on guys like Caleb Farley and Patrick Surtain. I'm worried about Casey Hayward. I hope he bounces back. I hope that maybe with a new defensive coordinator. I mean, we're all talking about Anthony Lynn getting fired. We got to fire Gus Bradley, man. I think Gus Bradley's the first one that should hit the road. You know what I mean? Maybe with the change of pace at defensive coordinator, things change, but I'm worried. Roblox says, what if we kept Mike McCoy? We don't even need to think about that. Kyle Sanchez says, what does Kia ora mean? Kia ora. Kia ora is a saying in New Zealand. It's Maori, okay? For those of you who don't know, half, like the reason I wear my Haimatau all the time and stuff like that, I am half Kiwi, people from New Zealand. Kia ora is a very common phrase. It kind of means like, how do you even explain Kia ora? It's like a hello, but it's more than that. It's kind of like, hi, I accept you as far as like who you are as a person. We are establishing a connection. I don't know. It's really hard to explain Kia ora. It's a really good vibe thing to say in New Zealand is all I'm going to say. All right. So it's not, I mean, you guys keep thinking it's que onda in Spanish or ki Yoda, you know, ki baby Yoda would be ki, what's his name now? Grogu. You guys can keep thinking that if you want, but kia ora, that's what it means. Daniel says, would you like Hunter leaving and drafting Kyle Pitts? No, keep Hunter Henry. I think the consistency for your rookie quarterback is important, and Hunter Henry's not going to be exceptionally expensive anymore. His injury history, a little bit of lack of production this year. You want to keep that stability for Justin Herbert if you can get it, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. We have the cap space. Ben Solo says, can we replace Desmond King in the draft? I mean, yeah, we need to draft young. I hated that we traded him away. We need young guys. We need young cornerbacks that are talented, for sure. Would you keep any part of the current coaching staff like Pep Hamilton? I would keep Pep Hamilton. I would keep, I think Shane Steichen has been doing okay. You know, I just think the main objective for me right now is to get Gus Bradley and Anthony Lynn the crap off my team. I'm done. You guys have been messing stuff up too long now. I really liked Anthony Lynn even before this year, even though we went 5-11 last year. Like, I still loved Anthony Lynn, but this year, there's no reason, man. There's no reason for the stuff I've been seeing. Neg says, hey, I'm a new and I'm subscriber. Hey, Kyoto. Thank you so much, man. Can we replace Desmond King? Yeah, I already said that. New questions here. Raptor says, should the Chargers get a monster offense from the draft and free agency and get decent enough defense and have an offensive first team? I think you should never go into the draft or into the offseason thinking that you're one thing or another, because things change so dramatically over the season. For instance, I feel like Anthony Lynn made up his mind on September 7th or whatever our kickoff was, that we were a defensive-oriented team. Run the ball, count on your defense. You can't do that. You have to be willing to be flexible. Because as we saw, the fall of Derwin James, people figured out Gus Bradley's scheme. We had so many injuries. We just couldn't be an offensive first team anymore. Yeah, you can try and drive that mentality into your team. Like, hey, you got to be the best defense you can be because we're going to be leaning on you guys. You can do that. But when I saw the transformation of the Chargers occur between weeks 2 and 5, I knew that we weren't a defensive-oriented team anymore. We actually shifted towards more of a balanced team. Some guys are really hot with their offense. Some guys are really stern and strong with their defense. The Chargers, our defense is kind of, behind the times right now. We were really good last year. This year, not so much. We're not terrible, but we're not good. I wouldn't even say we're good. I think we're below average. And when you have a team like that also has an offense that can produce a lot of points behind a rookie quarterback in a good system, I think you got to be more balanced. I think you got to, lean on them both. Put pressure on Justin Herbert to, score some points. Be aggressive in the way that you call your game. You're going to need those points to relieve your your defense a little bit. And vice versa, you got to push your defense to get off the field to take some pressure off of Justin Herbert. It has to be a give and take of both sides. So however long of an answer that was, that's my response. What about Eric Bieniemy as head coach? I really do like Eric Bieniemy, but the more I'm watching interviews and film and stuff with him, I mean, this is the first time I'm ever saying this on video, so don't hold me to it. But, I got a feeling about him. I don't know why. He could be amazing. He's a great offensive-minded coach. I'm worried that he won't be able to... what's the word when you usurp somebody from a grave? You know what I mean? I'm worried that he wouldn't be able to bring out the passion and the energy from his players, even the way Anthony Lynn did. I don't see the kind of sporadic energy in his coaching the way I see in even Robert Saleh. That's why I'm getting so high on Robert Saleh. I hope that's how his name is pronounced, because he's just got such energy and fire and passion. It's the kind of guy you want to run in behind battle. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to follow this person into battle. If you're not willing to do that, because in a sense, these are modern day gladiators. You know what I mean? Like, they're putting their bodies and minds and souls and everything on the line for this game. You have to have a leader that you're willing to run through a brick wall for. Eric Bieniemy, I think, could be that guy. Maybe I just haven't seen the right tape and stuff like that, but I see so much more of that in Robert Saleh. That's why I'm really, really leaning towards him. And sure, you don't need that. Head coaches have their ways of getting that out of their players. You definitely can say that, Bill Belichick doesn't have that same kind of energy, but he's just so serious, like down to earth, no BS, do your job. He's kind of like that boss on the top floor that you don't want to tick off, right? Andy Reid is very creative. Everyone has that way of being a leader. I don't know Eric Bieniemy's yet. Maybe he has something and I just don't know it. I don't know yet. Pac really wants to know who my favorite Charger is of all time. It's really kind of a tie between Junior Seau and the man behind my shoulder, Danian Tomlinson. Tomlinson really is what got me into football. Junior Seau was kind of a childhood hero. Kevin G says, not Saleh. Please bring no Bradley disciples. Please drop Rashawn Jenkins. Well, let me know who you want for head coach. You know what I mean? It's a pretty big deal. If it were up to me and I could move the powers that may be in the universe, it would be Bill Belichick on this team next year. But if he's not available, or if it's not going to happen or whatever, we got to be prepared. We have to start rallying for the right people. I don't know what the right people are or who the right people are, but I can see in personality, leadership, experience, success, guys like Robert Saleh, probably a really good choice. Eric Bieniemy, still probably a really good choice. Brian Schottenheimer, still pretty high on my list. We just all want to become more educated as a fan base. That way we can help steering this team in the right direction with our support and things that we give constructive criticism on. I hate people that are always just like, bruh, that sucks, bruh. Like, Why? Why does that suck? You know what I mean? Like, help me understand why you're so against this, and maybe you can change my mind. When presented with like legitimate evidence, I always keep my mind open to changing my opinion. You know what I mean? And I think that us as a fan base, if we can kind of try and develop that mindset, you know, we can help steer the emotion of our decision making and our team's decision making in the right direction. Raptor says, crazy, we were watching one of the best rookie seasons of all time at quarterback. Yeah, and it's being driven to the ground. That is why we need to get rid of Anthony Lynn. Ramford says, should we sign Earl Thomas? Yes, I think we should. I mean, at least give him a psych eval, right? If he's like a serial killer in there, we can give him a pass. But I think we should at least look into it. He fits what we do. Definitely fits what we do. Noble says, which Bosa is better? The one that got paid. Joey's better. We'll see what Nick does. Nick's a great player, but Joey's better right now. Andres says, anyone would be better than Anthony Lynn, even Ric Flair, and he doesn't even do football. Sure. Ric Flair. Margarita says, we need to believe the Chargers. Like always, this is why we're losing, I think. We need to believe in the Chargers. Yeah. I think it's silly when people like the fair weather fans, you know, that term gets thrown around a lot. Whatever, you know, let them leave. But if you're like going to be a fan of a football team, I mean, you're going to go some dark places, right? It's not going to be easy 99% of the time. Might as well try and throw your support wherever it's warranted. Give constructive criticism in areas that deserve it, kind of like me with Anthony Lynn. Hate doing it, but we got to get him off the team. But really, don't forget to throw the support in there, too. You know, go vote for Justin Herbert. Post something good about the Chargers. Spread that positivity about us as a fan base. Because if I've learned one thing over this season, being a Chargers fan, or Chargers YouTuber full time, we are not like Miami Dolphins fans. Those guys are the most toxic fan base I've ever dealt with in my life. We're some pretty chill dudes, man. We're the dude from the Big Lebowski. That's like 99% of Chargers fans that I've ran into. It's like, bruh, what's up? How you doing? You know what I mean? Like, I like that. I just kind of want, you know, us to be represented like that on the internet as well. I want people to feel like, you know, what's up? That's the Chargers fan over there. Let's go chill. That's what I mean. Let's see. Anthony Bennett says most Super Bowl winning teams won on their top tier defense. Yes. With that being said, would you rather sign an offensive or defensive minded head coach? This circles back to kind of getting with the times, right? I will never abandon the mantra of defenses win Super Bowls, defenses win championships. You want that mentality. Make sure your defense is strong and tough and efficient. But that being said, the modern NFL has kind of evolved even in the last like 3 or 4 years. I think it's been really since like Patrick Mahomes and those speedy guys, those speedy quarterbacks kind of entered the limelight. These explosive offenses are starting to pop up everywhere. And I think that's kind of the transformation that I'm seeing, is that with the championship of the Kansas City Chiefs, they proved that even with a mediocre defense, you can win a championship if you stack the freaking box, or you stack the board, the scoreboard, right? A lot of football fans or football teams don't play that way. They play to get the lead, and they try to maintain it with their good defense. They try to protect it. The Chiefs were like, I don't give a you know? They were like, we're going to put up 50 every week, and we'll see if you guys can catch up. I think there's a world where both can kind of exist, right? I think you do want that explosive offense nowadays. Take a look at all the scores of the Chargers games this year. The only games that we're ever really in is when we scored a lot of points, and we had the opportunity to close it out by scoring even more points. So I say just adjust. Like I said before, don't go in thinking one thing or another. If you got a really good defense, try and build the best defense you can. But if you find yourself in a situation like you did this year, what Coach Anthony Lynn should have done this year is say, you know, the defense just can't keep up. Too many injuries, this, that, whatever. We have to try and, you know, build them back up. But we also have to realize that this offense is really good. So if the way to win football games is to, like, really stack the score, we ought to do that. Never take your foot off the gas, because that's the kind of team we are right now. So try and build a Super Bowl caliber defense in the offseason. If it doesn't work out, have the discipline to change up what you're doing when you see what's not working. Anthony Lynn is still playing football to this day like we have a top 5 defense. We do not anymore. We have like a bottom 10 defense, maybe bottom 15. Definitely middle of the pack. But what we do have is a very good offense. I think what were we, like the top 5 or something like that for a while? Ride that. The season's never going to go as planned, bros. If you're doing something really, really good, bet on that. Stop betting on something that you hope works out. Bet on what works. Anyway, tangents. Sorry, tangents. Watch the Pat McAfee show from yesterday. He trashed and Lynn the entire segment. I watched it. I kind of liked it. He made some good points. He made some really good points. Talk about our punt receiver. He never catches the ball. The guy. Well, you're talking about KJ Hill. He's a rook. We got rid of our best returner in Desmond King. Those are the consequences. We should be using Ed Reed, or not Ed Reed. I wish. Joe Reed in that situation way more. Just help him develop. Horrendous says, what did you think about Lincoln Riley? I think he's the best fit. Lincoln Riley. Hang on. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night, bros. Oh, yeah. Oklahoma. It's tough to say when, coming out of college. I think really the worlds are so different. You got to think about it the same way as you think about an NFL quarterback. Like, some people are so high on a guy in college, like Tim Tebow, but when he comes in the NFL, it's like, I don't know. Kind of the same with coaches. Like, I really want to believe. Like, I think Urban Meyer's the only guy that kind of breaks that rule for me. Even Nick Saban, I'd be like, I hope it works. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just such a different world. So I don't know, maybe. Con Bomb says, which area desperately needs to be fixed more, offensive line or secondary? It's still offensive line. Show. Because we're going to get Derwin James back next year, and he's going to make a huge difference. Like, the difference that Derwin James and individually alone makes is tremendous. He's going to help our secondary a lot next year. We got a super chat coming in from Jay Bird. What's up, Jay Bird? Kyoto. He says, thoughts on the rookies. Will any of them be studs? Well, I think Justin Herbert is spoken for. I think Kenneth Murray is going to emerge as one of the best linebackers in the league when we change defensive coordinators. Now, hear me out on this. You guys know how Denzel Perryman has just been kind of like this force all year. Everyone's like, bro, Denzel Perryman, the resurrection. We're using him correctly. We're using him in the position where we should be using Kenneth Murray. This is kind of an instance of where you got too much of something good, right? Because I don't think Denzel Perryman's going to get re-signed. I hate to say it. He's had a great year. He is injury prone, but I don't think he comes back with the Chargers next season. Instead, what you do is you take the guy you drafted 27 overall in the 2019 draft, 2020 draft, and you put him right where Denzel Perryman was and ask him to do what Denzel Perryman was doing. Because you were asking Kenneth Murray to go out there and play like Devin White or Devin Bush or Levante David or Miles Jack or Patrick Queen. All of those guys, what do they have in common? Can I hear somebody raise their hand in the back? What? You guys know what all those guys have in common? All those linebackers? Anybody? Am I gonna have to say it? You guys too far behind? All of them are coverage linebackers. Yes, sir. King Wilson. King Wilson. Gold star for you, my friend. Bam. They're all coverage linebackers. Kenneth Murray's not a coverage linebacker. Matter of fact, coming into the draft, he's so far away from being coverage linebacker, it's ridiculous. And so to see them continually put him in a position where it's like, bruh, I don't know what they're running out here. A slant route? Where do I stand to defend that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, stop. Because when you give him an assignment, it's like, hey, I need you to hit this gap and make sure, this guy doesn't go outside and, contain this running back. He's like, I'm on it, bro. I got you. I understand exactly what I'm doing in run defense. I know exactly what I'm doing, hitting the gap. I know exactly what I'm doing rushing the quarterback. That's me. That's me, Kenneth Murray. That's what I do. He's had an identity crisis this year because the Chargers keep putting him in coverage like 80% of the time, and it drives me crazy. So to answer your question, sorry if I get off of tangents. I like talking Chargers, and you guys, you're a good audience. We got like 400 people in here. What are you guys doing? Kenneth Murray is going to pop when we give him the position that Denzel Perryman had, because we're going to finally be using him correctly. Finally. Outside of that, Kelly, I think the Chargers will find somebody better in the future. I hate to say it. I mean, he could still, I like Kelly. KJ Hill, Alohi Gilman. Some people were saying Alohi should put on some weight, become a linebacker. How cool would that be, right? From hybrid safety or run support safety to coverage linebacker. I could do that. I could see that. I'll take another question here. Lawson says, Chargers should replace Money Badger with kicker from Iowa, Keith Duncan. Sure. When it comes to the qualifications to identify a good kicker, I do not meet those. So I will take your guys' recommendations any day on good kickers to replace Money Badger with. I hate to say it, because the Chargers have been really good lately at finding like a really good kicker and then letting him walk. So that's the only reservation I have on Badgley right now. Is that what if like Younghoe Koo goes somewhere else and like absolutely lights the league on fire, or even Josh Lambo? It could happen. Maybe we just suck his kick like in special teams so bad that it makes these good kickers bad. You guys ever think of that? Could be true. T-Bone says, how you feeling today? Hope you're okay. I'm a little burnt out. I'm not going to lie. I decided to do a live stream today because, man, dudes, I was sitting here like trying to edit something. I was like, I got like an hour of sleep and I need a break. So I was like, I just want to come chat with you guys. Honestly, it's relaxing to me too, just being able to hang out and chill with you dudes. We got a super chat coming in. Alejandro Osario. Alvandro, sorry. If I've mispronounced, I am so sorry. He says, would you trade Pouncey and Derwin for a big splash move? Hurts to say, but the possibility of Derwin being another Jason Verrett sucks. Agree or disagree? Well, you're not wrong to think that. Okay, and we'll say that first. First of all, thanks for the $5 holla. Really appreciate you. Secondly, Jason Verrett was a very good cornerback in the league. Very good. He could just never stay on the field. And that's definitely where people are starting to see the similarities between him and Derwin James. Like, oh, he's so good, but he's just never healthy. The difference between Derwin James and Jason Verrett is that when Jason Verrett was on the field, he was a difference maker, but nowhere near the level of difference maker that Derwin James is. When Derwin James is on the field, he alone can take this defense from a middle of the pack defense to like a top 5 defense. Just him being on the field alone. So much of our defensive scheme, how we run our defense, our identity as a defense, revolves around Derwin James. So you're right in saying that there's a chance that we do see another Jason Verrett syndrome. He's always hurt, so much potential, but never on the field. It sucks. It scares me a little bit. But Derwin James is such a huge, vital piece of this defense, and really anybody's defense. He is worth the risk. Whatever we would get back for him, unless it's another Derwin James, wouldn't be worth it in my opinion. You gotta roll the dice. You have got to roll the dice with Derwin James. That's just the way it is. And I'm cool with it. I'm so happy to have him on this team. I really hope he comes back and plays in full health. He is worth the risk. There's other teams that recognize how important and how vital he is to a team that they're willing to throw in multiple first-round picks just to get a guy like him. And that happened to the Seattle Seahawks with Jamal Adams. How many picks did they have to flush down the toilet to get Jamal Adams on their team? That's how valuable that kind of position can be right now. Like nowadays. It's crazy. It's crazy. But really good question, man. I really appreciate it. Yvette says, Herbert or Derwin, who had a better rookie season? Herbert for sure, but Derwin's still fantastic. I mean, Herbert's going to be the best all-time rookie cornerback or quarterback ever. But Derwin, he was so good too. He was so good. She says, Chargers Yoda is here. What's up, Yoda? Yvette says, already read that one. Hugo says, how many sacks on Cam from Bosa on Sunday? I hope you and your fam are doing good. Hey, thank you so much, Hugo. I would expect at least one. Sacking Cam Newton is different than sacking. I guess Josh Allen's still kind of slippery too. I don't know, man. Just Joey Bosa's playing with some heat lately, right? He's playing angry. That's great. I like angry Joey Bosa. It's a little, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna get his. I could see at least one or two. I think Joey's back is kind of what I'm trying to get to. Joey Bosa is back, and he's hungry. He's thirsty. He wants to get his. He wants to, make his presence known in the league. He wants to be a leader, which is what I'm most excited about Joey Bosa right now. The man wants to be a leader. The way you do that is by example. I'm going to give him one or two this week. One or two, at least, for sure. Good question. Surik says, would you get another kicker and punter? I like kicker from LSU, Cole Tracy. Yeah, we already kind of went over that. New kicker. I think I'm on board for that. Maybe it's something to do with our special teams, because, again, our previous two kickers, Young Wei Koo and Josh Lambo, both went on to have great careers anywhere else but LA. Maybe if we fix something in special teams, Michael Badgley becomes better all of a sudden. I don't know, but it's just a speculation. Roblox Piggy says, how many Super Bowls will Herbert win in his career? Tricky question. I think him as a player has the ability to win at least a couple of them. At least one, right? He's like the best quarterback we've seen since Patrick Mahomes. He's got to win at least one. But if you sprinkle on that a little bit of magic and Bill Belichick, I could see like 3 or 4, man. Like, not even kidding. You guys give Justin Herbert, Bill Belichick. I don't care if they crash and fail the next 4 drafts in a row. That combo could win Super Bowls. Multiple. Dynasty is what I'm talking. That's why we got to push so hard for Bill. That is why I'm pushing so hard for Bill. I don't care all the surrounding circumstances that come with him. That man equals Super Bowls. That's what I'm interested in. Love says, sup, director? Who do you think we take in the draft? Really tough to say. As of right now, I'll answer your question with this, which is like a very unsatisfying answer, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think if we have a top 5 pick and Sewell's not there, we trade down. Period. So many people are going to want to get their hands on a quarterback this year. We could ask a king's ransom and probably get it, and still get a good player in the first round. That's where I lean right now. It's going to be a very interesting draft year because I love doing draft videos. Oh my God, I love doing draft videos. But if we're at like pick 5 or 6, I think we trade down. So it's going to be really hard for me to like do mock drafts if I'm like, well, we're trading down. We're trading down. We'll have to wait and see. How long did the Chiefs own the AFC West? If we get Bill, they're going to lose it next year. I'm so high on this thought, man. Like, I'm so high on this opinion. Like, if we get Bill, or let's say Robert Saleh, or one of these other head coaches really knows how to like harness the power of the Chargers, the Chiefs could be in trouble as soon as next year. That's how much of an impact that Justin Herbert has on this team. And all the big players that we've signed for multiple years, Joey Bosa, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, all these guys together, just these guys alone, you got to think playoffs every year. And if they got a good coach, there's no reason why I can't think Super Bowl as well. No reason. No reason at all. I think the Chiefs, realistically, if I'm the Chiefs, as big and pompous as I am, because I got Patrick Mahomes and I got Tyreek Hill and I got Kelsey and all that stuff, I'm still sweating a little bit when I play Justin Herbert. Because that is what kind of started the spark of rebellion in Kansas City. The spark was Patrick Mahomes. The spark that started the fire of the Chiefs Super Bowl run was Patrick Mahomes. You guys, I don't know how many people really realize this, but Justin Herbert is that same spark for the Chargers. It's the beginning of something absolutely insane, a transformation that could only take a year or two. The difference is that Patrick Mahomes had Andy Reid, and that guy's a great coach. Get Anthony Lynn off of my team. I'm sorry. I want that same spark to harness that same fire for the Chargers. These moments and opportunities only come by so often for an NFL franchise. The Chargers, maybe 3 or 4 times ever in this team's history have we had a chance like this. Junior Seau, Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson. Those guys could win Super Bowls. Kind of messed those up. I don't want to mess this one up. Justin Herbert seems to be better than any other rookie quarterback we've ever seen in the NFL. Not just for the Chargers, every team, every NFL quarterback before him in their rookie year was not as good as Justin Herbert. I'm not willing to waste that opportunity, man. You tell me, if we blow this, no freaking way I'm gonna let that fly. Whatever power that my 23,000, 25,000 subscribers, whatever, has, I will use to harness the opinions of every NFL fan to fix whatever problems, whatever crap is happening behind the scenes with our coaches. If our coaches are really the ones that are blowing it so hard, wasting the opportunity that we have with Justin Herbert, I will do everything in my power to make sure that goes away. Whatever little power it may be, I will start a riot. I will start a riot online, man. I do not want to waste Justin Herbert. Freaking kidding me, man? Best rookie of all time? Nah. Okay, so Roblox says, what if Lynn stayed another year? That's what I'm talking about. This is where you grab your digital pitchforks and torches and stuff. I'll be leading the way. I'm not even kidding, man. I'm not watching my team blow this. I'm not going to let it. If they blow this, it will be with me kicking and screaming the whole way there. The whole way there. Kyle Sanchez says, how did the speculation of Bill Belichick possibly going to the Chargers start? Well, it's all really with Justin Herbert. You know, talking about Bill Belichick, I think it really kind of started last season when Tom Brady left. Everyone was like, what? No way. Tom Brady left New England? And that kind of started conversations of like, could Bill Belichick leave? Maybe if they suck this season, and now we're here, and they suck this season. You know what I mean? And that got people saying, well, where would Bill go if he wanted to leave and be successful? Where would he go? There's like a very few places that he could probably go to do the same thing he was doing in New England. Chargers are on very top of that list. Like, not even kidding. Like, there's other places with like some potential. Even the Cincinnati Bengals. You got Joe Burrow. Awesome. Still, he has nowhere near the talent, especially the long-term contracts with superstars that the Chargers do. The Bengals can't even touch us. That's where it kind of started. Just one day I was like, that probably could happen. Let's start a movement. Anthony Bennett says, I know it's not Chargers related, but what do you think of Tyreek Hill's monster first half last week? Yeah, it was crazy. It's awesome. I'm glad I wasn't playing the guy in my fantasy league that had him. Alex Silva says, I can see the NFL taking over due to the fact that they are in LA. They won't let Spanos mess up Herbert. I mean, if it's a conspiracy level kind of thing, I could see that happening. Enrique, I lost you. Enrique says, should we tank for the next 20 years to guarantee we draft the next Patrick Mahomes? What? Patrick Mahomes Jr.? We got Patrick Mahomes Jr., bro. Not Jr. He's different. We got our Patrick Mahomes. I keep saying this to people. Like, bruh, Justin Herbert is the best ever as far as a rookie. I guess if Patrick Mahomes played in his rookie year, we probably had this conversation. Like, he might be number 2, but he didn't. So I'm 100% team Justin Herbert. Like, I want to harness whatever we need to harness to make him sure he's successful. Roblox says, I'll join your protest. Let's go. Let's do it. Trevor Lawrence or Herbert? Still Herbert. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is going to be great, in my opinion. 99% guarantee. But I have 100% guarantee that Justin Herbert's the best rookie quarterback of all time. I'll take Herbert. Okay, guys, a couple more questions, and I'm going to wrap it up here. How long we been live? About an hour. That's about kind of what I wanted to do today. Just kind of come on here and chill with you guys, talk a little Chargers. You guys really helped me get my mind kind of churning for the kind of content that I want to produce. I mean, tomorrow's obviously going to be our game preview. Should be a lot of fun. A lot more interesting than I thought it would be. But outside of that, you know, we got a lot of other stuff that kind of came up today. If anything, it helps me get the perspective of Chargers fans. You know, there's really some Chargers fans out there that don't understand what we have, or don't understand our situations, or are pessimistic to the point where they're not receptive to new and bigger ideas. As a Chargers fan for so many years, I understand the pessimism. I've been there with you guys through Phillip Rivers and, you know, the almosts. We had so many almost seasons. I totally get it. But this new era that's begun with Justin Herbert, possibly a new coach, a new system, superstars lined up everywhere under contract, I have to believe that a big change is coming, that radical moves, big picture movements are about to happen for the Bolts. And if I'm, you know, overly optimistic in my views of that. I'm fine with that. That's just kind of the way my mama raised me, you know. Always reach for them stars, you'll get to the moon. Whatever kind of cheesy stuff you want to say about that. I'm an overly optimistic person. But what an overly optimistic person allows themselves to do, which is why I had so much success in the film industry, is to kind of see a bigger picture. You know, conceptually, I never was in a box. I was always thinking big. Because if I think big, I know I'll get close to it. Even if I don't reach as far as I was hoping to reach, I'm going to get a lot further than if I was thinking this. I want Chargers fans to broaden their minds a little bit to the ideas and changes and things that we support as a fan base. Because we're not in a box anymore. Justin Herbert has unleashed us into the world as like legitimate threats. And as long as we're, receptive to that, receptive to those good ideas, not to everything, because there's going to be bad ideas too, but we're just, more widely and broadly, like we have a broader perspective. I don't know. I just think it's a very exciting time to be a Chargers fan. I think good things are coming. And I want to promote those good ideas, not just mine. I mean, good things I see from the Chargers, I want to make sure I'm there screaming, saying like, yeah, that's the way. This is the way. This is the way. How often are you going to be doing live chats, says Ramphis. I might do them more, but I might make it a membership thing. I think I'm going to do a channel membership thing here very, very soon. I'm just going to do stuff like this all the time. Get on here and gab with you dudes and, try to make sure that the channel can float itself in the long term. You guys, I mean, if we're talking YouTube for like 2 seconds... my full-time job being YouTube at only like 23 or 25,000 subs is very risky. So I'm making moves trying to make sure that it keeps the family afloat and stuff like that. And if I come on here and gab with you guys and the live streams with like a channel membership kind of thing, I'm definitely happy to do that. Dancing Dave says, if we fire Anthony Lynn early this season, do we put Pep Hamilton in as a temporary head coach? Love the stream. Yes. My number one pick for interim head coach, if I wake up tomorrow and it's like, Anthony Lynn is gone, the man I expect to be in that position immediately is Pep Hamilton. That guy's a brilliant football mind. He has groomed some of the best quarterbacks we've seen in the last decade. Andrew Luck, the last great rookie quarterback I can remember, came from Pep Hamilton. And now the best rookie quarterback in history has also come from Pep Hamilton. I would love to see him as a interim head coach. Last couple ones, guys. Sir, choose Herbert or Big Belly. What? Herbert, whatever that was. Ferris says, Director, you think we should make Pep Hamilton? Yes. Our OC next year? Maybe. I just don't want Pep to leave. I want Pep to stay on the Chargers. Whatever we have to do to keep him, let's do it. What about defensive coordinator? Gus Bradley stinks. Yeah, that's a conversation for another day. I'm starting to come down a little bit, dudes. Conversation for another day, but it's definitely an important one to happen. Because Gus needs to leave. I think Gus probably should get fired before Anthony Lynn, but at this point, it should be a package deal. I want Robert Saleh. Yeah, me too. That's who I'm leaning towards. Jacob says, do you think Spaino's family will finally spend the money on the coach that we need? Yeah, I do. I think when you're talking a new environment, new stadium, trying to get that hype level up, Bill Belichick, the price tag to me says free money. Because whatever he costs, he's going to bring right back in revenue due to the hype. Like instantly. Urban Meyer, more live streams, please. Hey, thank you so much, Antonio Bonilla and Jacob Beeman. Guys, thank you so much for the $5 hollers. And Urban Meyer, yeah. I mean, if he decides to start his NFL career with the Chargers, whew, I'd be so happy. I would be so happy. Any other good head coaches? Julio, definitely check out my video. I went over like 15 or 20 of them in that video. Just look on my channel. I got one, like the top however many best choices for the Chargers' next head coach or something like that. Give it a look. See, it's definitely a pretty good video. Jim says Myers, no thanks. Wow, I think Urban Meyer's one of those few guys out of college I'll be like, yeah, that's going to translate really well. Like, totally. Even if it's taking a little bit of a chance, I'm going to take that chance. Jay Bird says, thanks for making this content for us, making the season better. Much love. Hey, Jay Bird, thank you, man. Appreciate it. You know, starting YouTube, I thought I was gonna be here and mess around, you know, just have a little bit of fun, have a hobby, and then I found all you guys in the comments, and I'm like, yo, these little words that pop up on my screen, I think there's some cool people behind them, man, and that community really has grown on this channel, and I'm very, very grateful for all you guys. Very grateful for all you guys. Lil Dime says, we're here for you. I'm here for you guys, too, just as much as you guys are here for me. Having a lot of fun on here. You guys should be seeing an announcement here in the next couple of days. It's been kind of a crazy week. You know, holidays and stuff are coming up, but there's going to be a channel membership thing. Let me show you guys something here cool too. I got the some new emojis and stuff that are going to come with them. There'll be some perks and stuff like that, but it's mainly if you guys just want to jive with me and support the channel. And I'll do more live streams like that on the channel membership and stuff too, so you can expect a lot of stuff like today, you know what I mean, on that platform. It should be a lot of fun, and we'll continue to grow as a Chargers community here and try to make a difference, man. I mean, if it's just us making a better, you know, environment for Chargers fans, I want the positive vibes that come from you guys in the chat and from this channel and the community that we're growing to spread throughout the web, man. I feel like everybody's got a presence. I got this physical presence that I'm talking to you guys with right now, and then I've got a web presence that could be completely different. I could be a jerk, you know, online. But I don't want to be that, you know what I mean? I think us as Chargers fans, I want to help us grow as a community and as a culture online as some real chill dudes, man. And I think we have the power to do that. And if it's, you know, starts here on this channel, I would be absolutely honored. So we're doing good things out here, man. I'm very excited to see how we grow as a community. It should be a lot of fun. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been the Director. It's been a lot of fun out here. You guys got to keep your eyes peeled for those announcements coming up here very soon. We're going to be starting the channel membership. We're going to be calling you guys my crew members. You guys are going to be my crew. That'd be kind of cool. You guys will be my crew out here. We'll do some stuff, you know, we'll figure out, you know, content together and topics and go over different stuff, you know, as a community, and there should be a lot of fun. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys next time. I'm gonna go grab dinner and settle in and play some new Madden. Some Madden on the next gen console just came out today, so it should be a lot of fun. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been the Director. We'll see you next time, and as always, bolt up and stay frosty. Action!